All right, welcome back, everybody. It seems like we lost our guest during the break, and we're going to do what we can to get him back on. Randy, you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, so a few things that I had about the committees of safety while we're waiting on getting them back on. You know, with the committees of safety and the militia being subordinate to them, what kind of things can we do to get our legitimacy and to basically prove that we are in the right and that we are, it is lawful to be doing that?
Well, you know, the legitimacy for the militia exists in our founding documents. It exists in just the laws of nature itself. We as man have the right to protect our very lives. We as man have the right to form together and group together for a common defense. This has been our right since, you know, if we go with the Darwin theory, since we climbed out of the trees and we picked up a stick and a rock, or we formed our tribes. You know, but from the very beginning of Adam and Eve, we formed together for mutual defense. This has been the right of man. This is why these rights were given to us by our Creator, and they cannot be infringed upon. But in a republic, though, we operate differently than what a lot of people seem to think out there. The militia do not stand by themselves as a independent unit, as an independent organization, as an independent body. They have no authority to act upon their own right. All authority from the militia must come from a civil authority. That's how our government is run. We work through representative bodies. Now, if we look back during the Civil War, or I'm sorry, during the Revolutionary War, we find that the first Committee of Safety was created when the militia... We got somebody in the background?
Yeah, it sounds like we got our guest back.
Okay, well, welcome back.
Yeah, we're here.
Well, welcome back, guys. You know, but our militia started back... Sorry about that. Welcome back. Yeah, I guess we lost you guys for a minute.
Oklahoma, the reception a little spotty, and you know, the FW hall has karaoke, so we got to kind of move around to get some quiet area. So we're making it work the best we can.
Not a problem. So listen, I can get to the committee of stuff. I can get to the committee of safety stuff later. So why don't you go ahead and finish up with them, okay. Fox, and you know, I'll just hang out and listen in.
Outstanding. Okay, Darren or Chris, you know, either one of you guys can answer this question, or both of you would be good. What are a few effective ways to build a strong leadership presence among your unit and your teams?
Hi, this is Darren. Well, I think it's been touched on, but it hasn't been directly addressed. As far as leadership, or even just a good militia leader, and this has been my philosophy for been a part of militia. First, you have to start with yourself. You must. My grandfather used to have a saying that a man that he would trust and believe in, when he spoke, he'd say his words have hair on it. Well, if you live as a good man, those people that are in your life, and even the ones that aren't, can see that you live as a good man. And the greatest compliment a man can receive is for another to say, there goes a good man. Live as a good man, speak the truth, and people will automatically begin to take stock of what you say. If you have integrity, if you do your... Now, I'm not saying be a saint. None of us can be. You know, we're human. We're going to make mistakes, and we're going to sin. But if you do offend someone or cross the line, understand your infraction to them. Make a sincere apology. I don't mean just the words. A sincere apology. And always speak the truth. People will start to listen. Your words will have hair on it. That is one of the most effective recruiting tools that I've found so far. In addition, never try to make any man feel less for what he doesn't know. He can feel like a brother, and you love him enough to teach him what he doesn't know, and you're willing to learn from him as well. And I'm gonna give it to Chris and let him continue this.
Okay.
Hey, this is Chris. I'm kind of a bit of a different case. You know, I've always had my own businesses, and you lead. You know, if you got a successful business, you lead your employees, take care of their families, you take care of your own family. You have to. And especially to do it right for everybody, because, you know, if you don't take care of those folks, you're not going to take care of you. The same thing leads into the military. You know, you've got to look out for everybody involved. You can't just look out for yourself. And, you know, more often than not, you know, I mean, I look at my own little business, and there's so many times that I put my employees more than I pay myself.
No, I really hate to interrupt again, but could you, you're coming in a little garbled. Would you be able to speak clearer into the phone and go back about 5-10 seconds?
Sure. I was just talking about how you have to take care of people. You have to look at their interest as you would your own interest, and if not even above your own interest. You know, just if you're self-employed, if you've got people that work for you, you've got clients. You know, when I'm in people's homes and I see them putting up food and stocking ammunition and weapons, and I'm like, well, what are you doing that for? And you strike up these conversations, and you become one with them. You just you bond because you understand what they're feeling. You know, they start to look to you for advice, maybe if you're a little more prepared than they are, if you thought this out a little further than they have. And, you know, you just ask them to do some research, have some thought about it, you know, not just to be a little squirrel there and putting up to protect theirself. Think about the bigger picture. Think about the country. Think about, you know, all of the rest of us out there.
Okay. And I've got Chris on the line, right?
Yes.
You being the assistant team leader and Darren being the leader of the Florida Charter Oaks, would you be able to answer the same question but on, say, at FTXs and building strong and effective leadership on a tactical level amongst your group?
Well, I'm sorry, can you repeat that question? I couldn't hear all of it.
Okay. The same question, you know, as you guys were talking about with building effective leadership amongst the community, but, you know, answer about creating it amongst your group, the Charter Oaks.
Well, with the Charter Oaks, first of all, anyone who comes out and trains with us, I will never ask to do anything I'm not willing to do myself. Never will I ask a man to perform a task or conduct, you know, we have some uncomfortable training situations sometimes, and I always try to demonstrate whatever task we are training on at that time to the best of my ability. As most of us in this movement, we're not 20-year-old new recruits. Many of us are veterans. You know, we're getting on in years, but never ask a man to do anything that you're not willing to do yourself. And if you're not capable of doing it yourself, make every effort, every attempt. And then when they make their attempts, it may work out one of two ways. They may want to match your abilities, or they may want to exceed your abilities. Make sure that, and this is something I've learned a long time ago, coercive motivation is counterproductive. If you encourage what they were able to do as opposed to what they weren't able to do, they'll try harder to accomplish what they couldn't do. And listen, I spent a lot of time in the military, and I know all about driving someone hard. But those are young men who need to be stripped away from their families and brought up as soldiers. We're not raising soldiers. We are trying to train militia. These men have already become what they are. Tearing them down further is counterproductive. It's not like a new 19-year-old who needs to be pulled away from his mom, and it's the first time he was away from his home and all of his sense of entitlement. We, as grown men, have already defined who we are, and we have a stronger conviction. And what I mean by we as militia, who often, run between 40 to 60 years old, know what is most important to us. So we don't need to be torn down. We need to be encouraged and then taught how to improve where we are. I found this to be effective. I've seen instructors in the field who yell and scream at a 45-year-old man for what he couldn't do. And I found that to be counterproductive. You cannot bring the Marine Corps drill instructor into militia because it will destroy morale and it will defeat the purpose. Not everyone can perform at the warfighter level in the field. And as many of us veterans know, for every warfighter there is, you need 3 support people. And if you're yelling and screaming at people who can't perform in the field but could teach maybe a water purification class or teach people how to procure certain foods, they don't have to be on the field. They can support the people that are securing the perimeter.
Right, that goes back to Gorillas in the Mist. You know, everybody has a role. You know, you're 80 years old, a bit longer in the tooth, you still drive a truck, still operate a radio. So, yeah, that's good. Positive reinforcement kind of thing. You know, not breaking people down. That's. I'm glad. Okay. What kind of goals? This is for anybody to answer. What kind of goals should your members have, prospective members or current members? What do you think they should have individually? And what kind of goals should groups have as a whole for long-term bettering of the movement and the country?
Well, again, this is White Out, and I'll answer briefly, and then if you'd like for Chris or Sergeant Dyer to answer, I'll pass that on to them. But individually, first of all, this should be paramount. You must understand the brotherhood of militia. You must understand that this is not about you as an individual. It never will be. You have to care about the man next to you at least as much as, if not more than, you care about yourself. Now, as a group, militia, in my mind, has 5 core purposes. The first that everyone is obviously aware of is resistance to tyranny. But the others are crime deterrence and prevention. This is both individually and at a community level, as well as nationally. Next to that is terrorism, which shares many of the same attributes as crime. However, the perpetrators of terrorism are much more likely to stand and fight rather than to try to run to get away.